What's up, guys? Welcome back to the review space, and today on Versus we pit a couple of Spawn action figures, yes, the main character himself, against each other. First up, we take a look at Spawn, the action figure from the movie, alright, against Commando Spawn, a deluxe edition ultra action figure. Which one of these Spawn figs is the best? Let's begin! First up, let's look at the Spawn movie figure. Wow, this is awesome! Yay, look at him! Man, this is way back in the 90s, like 97 when this figure came out. I still remember it way back in the day. With the glowing green eyes and everything. I mean, he looks really cool. I love the character model, the amount of detail and the paint job, and just it looks so cool. This came out at the height of Spawn's popularity, basically. The movie came out in 1997. This was when Spawn was a really mainstream name, and it was such a big... You know, the movie came out, you know what I'm saying? The movie. Born in Darkness, Sworn to Justice, McFarlane Toys. It's called an Ultra Action Figure. I love how they had to trademark Ultra Action Figure. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's an Ultra Action Figure, just to make it sound more impressive. Alright, and this is the carded form of the fig. It looks really cool. He's got all these accessories. He's got like this machine gun thing here. Some ammos here. And he's got combat assault weapons. Very cool looking fig. Can't wait to open it up. Alright, and taking a look at the back. Oh yeah! And there's the rest of the action figures from the New Line Cinema film. Which honestly wasn't too bad of a movie. You know, it was okay. I think that it was because it was PG-13. I think it wasn't rated M. It wasn't for mature audiences. It wasn't restricted. Rated R, I should say. It's rated R. It should have been rated R. Basically, it should have been for more adult, like, you know what I'm saying, more mature content, just to kind of be more faithful to the content material, the source material. All right, Jason Wynn. Clown, pretty cool version of Clown. Spawn himself, this is the figure that we have. Burnt Spawn. Al Simmons, the guy who's, you know, the human character who becomes Spawn. Violator. Jessica Priest. Spawn Deluxe Box Edition. Oh, it looks really cool, look at that. Malebolgia Deluxe Boxed Edition. Oh yes, the so-called demon ruler of hell, basically. Alright, and then there's the Kiss action figures, Total Chaos, monsters. There's even some instructions. Machine gun fits in right hand and the chamber spins. Bandoliers fit across shoulders and connect in back. Small gun fits in left hand. Awesome. There's even a website, spawn.com. Yes, that's right, even back in the 90s. 1997, when the internet connection was horrible and not nearly everybody had internet connection at all. Wired. You can reach Todd McFarlane, the toy company, and or the comic company on the internet. Yes, at spawn.com. Yes, this is from 1997. Todd McFarlane made in China, printed in Hong Kong, and that's pretty much it. Great carded figure. I like the simplicity of it. It's not as, you know, it's not as light looking as the Ultra action figures in the earlier series. It's got more of a dark aesthetic. I think that's what kind of makes it cool. And if anything else, it's very reminiscent of the actual film itself. So we'll take a closer look at this. So I'll open it up a little bit later. Alright. Next up, we take a look at Commando Spawn. Oh yeah. Ages 4 and up. It's from Todd Toys, so it's an older type of action figure. Todd McFarlane Spawn. Deluxe Edition Ultra Action Figures. From America's best-selling comic book, Bazooka fires missile. Removable knife fits in hand. It looks pretty cool. Again, another $5 action figure. Both of them are $5, so really good deal I was able to find, you know what I'm saying? Still sealed, especially. Although this one looks like it's a little kind of loose, actually. Like the inside is kind of falling apart, or maybe no, it's in pretty good condition. All right, And taking a look at the back, you got these other characters from previous series, previous waves of figs. Tremor, Medieval Spawn, Clown, Overtkill, Spawn, Violator, Pilot Spawn, Todd McFarlane himself. Very, very 90s aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? Alright, now taking a look at the two figures. Whoops! Yes, taking a look at the two figs side by side. Which one is the better sealed action figure? Alright. I like the simplicity of the Spawn the movie figure, but I also like the presentation of the Spawn, you know, the color scheme of the Commando Spawn. It's got more of a mid-90s vibe to it. Both figures are pretty dark looking. They're both very black and red, you know, with some gray aesthetic. I think that both figures also stand out. I think this figure just has more of a kind of a shininess to it, a gloss to it. This one is more of a plastic, you know, basic plastic paint job. But I like his weapons. They stand out a lot more. Not saying that the weapons of this figure isn't, you know, cool looking, but it's pretty close. I think that this one stands out a little bit more though. So overall, I think I'll have to give it just a little bit to Commando Spawn, but both are definitely worthy of displaying. Alright, so what are we waiting for? Let's take a closer look at these figs and open both up right now. Alright, so now I have opened and revealed Commando Spawn and Movie Spawn. And these are the two figures, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling, doing their thing, standing upright. They might look like they have good balance now, but trust me, these guys are kind of eh. Actually, I'd say Commando Spawn. Let's take a closer look at Commando Spawn. Alright, here we go. Alright. This is basically the figure itself. Let's remove his accessories. Come on. Come on. Oh, there you go. Right, so this is just the figure on its own. Looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm digging his look. He's got a lot of spikes. These early ones, you know, the early Spawn figures, they always seem to have a lot of spiky, you know, armbands and spiky shoulder pads and stuff. There's a lot of detail though. There is a lot of like cool, you know, little points of detail on the figure. A lot of skulls and, you know, very dark looking character. Alright, so let's take a look at Articulation. He can twist his head like this, you know what I'm saying, and then you can move this little eye, these goggles or whatever, looks like a scouter, over his face. It's basically just attached to his head, like that. So his hand, you can move it, just kind of back and forth, kind of rotate it, but as far as the rest of his hand, like his elbows, his wrists, that's it, man. I mean, you're talking about mid-90s articulation here. That's very limited, so there's not a lot of posability here, unfortunately. His hands are basically just stuck in that position, so in that bent, you know, that L shape. So as far as his waist, you know, nothing going on. Very fixed piece of plastic. At the hips, though, his legs move back and forth, his thighs, and that's it. Can't really do the splits or anything. And his knees are bendable, yes. So he has bendable knees, alright. And that's pretty much it. I mean, again, 1995 level of articulation here. But the positive is that he's got really cool detail. Love his armor, love the little things. You know, he is Commando Spawn, so he kind of reminds you of he's a commando, you know, somebody like Rambo, for example. He's got the same kind of, you know, the red headband kind of thing. You know, he's got the strapped little straps on his thighs, and he's got the ammunition strap on his across his chest. He's got a couple of knives as well, so you know what I'm saying, a knife pouch or pocket or whatever at the right feet, right foot. He's got another knife here, you know what I'm saying. He's able to hold that, or you can just put it. He's got a little pouch little pocket thing at his left hand. But unfortunately, if you move it up like that, it does fall down. You know what I'm saying? So it's very loose. And now we move on to the bigger... Oh man, the bigger accessories. So this one here is the bigger one. It's got some like green coloring as well. It's basically just a ginormous rocket launcher. You know what I'm saying? And it attaches to his right hand like this. Like so. And right on top of his shoulder pad here, so it kind of nicely fits in that arch. Okay, and then if you press a button here, this one right here, it should fire. Alright, I don't want to like damage it though. I don't want to damage the wall. I'll just aim it towards that spawn over there. Alright, so unfortunately for movie Spawn, he's gonna have to eat a rocket to the face. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Commando Spawn, go! Oh, right in the chest! That's gonna hurt! Oh ho 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 ho! That was pretty cool. He hit him right in the freaking... on the pecs. That was a very devastating attack right here. Alright, and the next weapon, he's got this smaller, like, kind of like a laser... I don't even know. It's like a rifle or a shotgun. And this one should go on his left, right on top of his left hand like that. Alright, so he's packing, you know. The only problem is aesthetically, it looks kind of awkward. I mean, it honestly does. Look at this. It just looks really, really strange, you know. It has an awkward fit over his... It kind of covers his head area. And so when he's holding it upright, you know, it's like a bad angle, you know. You can't really get a good look, and you can't really pose him that well. And he's just... It's more out of convenience in terms of like the ergonomics of the figure, in terms of balancing. And sort of compensates for the lack of articulation. So you can't pose him that well, and you can't really display him like, you know, have a really cool looking display in a cool pose. But it is a really sweet figure. Again, you know, awesome detailing. I love his weapons, so it's just really over the top. All right, so next up, yes, we have. All right, this is movie Spawn. Now, this is a really sweet looking figure. In terms of detail, he has as you can notice, he already has like this gloss about him, this really shiny look to him. And he's got a few accessories too. First of all, the figure itself looks amazing. Look at that. Shiny, glossy, you know, just very, very awesome looking figure. He looks almost organic, you know what I mean? Like almost like a living being, like a living suit. It just looks awesome. It's pretty much a replica of the character from the movie, you know, the Spawn film. I love his eyes. It's like a bright emerald, shiny green eyes, just like the film. Awesome looking figure, aesthetically at least. Yes, he came with a couple of accessories here, a couple of weapons. So he's got this like machine gun type of you know, weapon here, and this thing actually rotates here, the canister or whatever, you know. And then he's got the smaller gun here, the smaller little rifle here. It fits over his hand. It fits right on his hand, inside the palm of his hand. And then this one is supposed to fit on his right hand, but the problem is it doesn't fit that well. See, it doesn't fit that well. It tends to fall. You know what I'm saying? It's very loose, so that's a problem right there. Because you can't really like. It's not a snug, tight fit. It's very loose. It doesn't feel. You know, there's no click. There's nothing. You know, it's very, very loose. So that's the only problem, is that his coolest weapon, basically, he can barely hold it. Articulation-wise, he can twist his head, move his hands up and down. From the elbow, at least his left hand, he can move it up and down at the bend it, basically bend it at the elbow. The problem with the right hand though is I can't really do it. I don't know if it's stuck or what. After all these years, you know, since 1997, it's stuck. I don't want to force it. It might break. So, and his hand though, his wrist you should be able to rotate it. So at least on his left hand. No articulation at the waist, but he can move his legs kind of back and forth like that. It's kind of awkward because it's at an angle. It's like a V shape, so it doesn't really move forward. Like, it kind of has like, yeah, a weird, you know, like a Marvel action figure these days. So, and you can bend obviously at the knees. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know, you're talking about 90s articulation once again. And he's got a couple of strapped up ammunition on his chest. You can actually remove it, but oh, actually, yeah, let's try and remove it right now. Actually, let's see. Or, oh, it's kind of awkward because I don't want to. Should be. Oh, there you go. So just remove this one. Oh, there you go. Couple of and the detailing on these particular, you know, the ammunition belts are really awesome too. I love the bullets. It just looks so realistic. Like, it's just awesome detailing. And this is why, like, the McFarlane company, you know, McFarlane Toys has got such a good reputation in making action figures, and to this day they still make, you know, Halo action figures, you know, NHL hockey figures, Prince of Persia, Disney action figures, all kinds of different action figures. Awesome detailing. So, because of the just the craftsmanship of the actual figure, I mean, look at the detail on that. His back, all these little ridges and these holes, and just very intricate looking, detailed, awesome figure. Again, only problem is the articulation. It's not really well articulated. The hands, for example, are really fixed like that in that particular pose, so you can't really, you know, it's very limiting. It feels very limiting. It's more of a display piece than anything, you know, in terms of you can't really pose it that much, but you can look at it and it's a really cool looking figure, you know. Phenomenal detail. I love it. Some holes at the bottom of the feet for a stand. Alright, so side by side, which figure is better? I mean, both figures are actually quite comparable because they're both like Commando style. They both have like these ammunition, they're both packing heat, they both have guns. They don't have the cape, so it's not the cape Spawn we're talking about here. In terms of detail, I prefer this one much more, the 1997 movie Spawn version. Ultra action figure, I love the detailing, he looks really cool. This one, I like his accessories more. I like his huge, like, rocket missile launcher. It's just over the top, and I like his little scouter, you know, his goggle, you know, half a goggle, whatever this is. And I like the spikes too. You know, I love the detail on his actual armor. You know what I'm saying? He's got these little, like, it's more cartoony, it's more comic book looking, and this one looks definitely more visceral, more kind of a pseudo-realistic look to it. It's very close. Ah, man. It's so close. He's got really bad balance. That's one thing I almost forgot. This Spawn figure is terrible because of his feet don't balance right. At least this one moves back and forth, his legs, right? This one does not, so it's kind of like awkward like that. This one has much better balancing, despite the fact that he's got like bigger weapons and stuff. So that's another consideration. Overall, this is so close. I still prefer... I'm gonna have to give it to the movie Spawn. I just think he's much cooler looking. It's the shininess, you know, it's the more gritty look to the figure. So the winner would be 1997 Spawn action figure. Yeah! Alright guys, so that's it for this episode of Versus on the Review Space, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the channel, comment, rate, subscribe, you know I'm sizzling. And until next time, ciao!